cracking, gang? It's T Nasty, and I'm back with another banger for you guys. And today, this is no ordinary banger. This is the 250 subscriber special, and I'm here to give you guys my top 10 favorite fighters of all time in MMA history. Gonna give you a little bit of T Nasty lore along the way, and then at the very end, I'm gonna be telling you guys about the T Nasty T-shirt giveaway. So stay tuned for that. But before we get to all that, I just got to, talk to you guys about hitting this milestone. And, ever since I was a little kid, I wanted to be a YouTuber. And, I feel like I'm finally getting to that point. I don't know if I can quite call myself that yet, but I'm fucking getting there. And it just means the world to me to hit 250 subscribers. I know a lot of you guys probably see that number and you think that's not even that much. There's so many YouTubers who have thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of subscribers. And 250 is just a fucking fraction of that. But this shit has been so hard to hit. Any of you guys thinking it's easy, go make a channel and try to get 250 subscribers. It fucking took a while. I was literally begging people to subscribe. I was telling dudes in the drive-thru to subscribe to me. I was telling my coworkers. I was sharing the shit on Facebook like every goddamn day. There's still people I talk to and they're like, "Oh, you have a YouTube channel?" I'm like, "Dude, have you not been paying fucking attention?" I'm like, "Go subscribe." But I mean, that's just how it is. That's just part of the game. And, I finally hit 250 after a long week of grinding, after a year of having a fucking channel. When I first started this channel, I was uploading 2 to 3 videos a week. And then over winter break last year, I tried to do the daily upload thing. And, I just kind of burnt myself out really quick doing that. And then all of this year, I've kind of, been sporadically uploading here and there. And just in the last 2 weeks, I've been back to, regular content. And I've just been fucking loving it ever since then. And, I've been getting a lot of advice from people telling me to make these types of videos, do this thing with your videos. And these types of videos right here, this style of editing, this is the shit that I want to make, that I'm passionate about making. I just wanted to get on here and have an outlet for my fucking UFC takes and my picks. Those who know me in real life, you guys know I live and fucking breathe MMA. Like, this is literally my shit, and it has been for years now. I've never really been that into like other sports. I do fuck with baseball. I do fuck with basketball and hockey, and even football to an extent. Like, they're chill, but just MMA is the one. I literally know damn near every fucking UFC fighter. I know a bunch of other fighters outside of the UFC. I'm literally watching fucking night combat. I'm watching car jiu-jitsu. I'm watching bare knuckle. I'm watching dirty boxing. I'm watching fucking karate combat. I'm a big WWE fan as well. I started out in the WWE. Not as much anymore. I like the real shit more nowadays, but I've just been a fucking combat sports fan for as long as I can fucking remember. And we're going to talk about all that and more whenever we go through my top 10 with the T Nasty lore. But just, I've always loved UFC and I just wanted an outlet. Some of my friends know who were in, we had an MMA group chat. And I know for a fact that group chat is fucking dead now ever since I got banned on Snapchat. We're not going to go into why, but ever since I've been banned off Snapchat, I know that group chat is fucking dead now. And so, I had to fucking go somewhere to let out my fucking UFC takes. And that's what this channel has been for. So to everyone who has watched the videos, who has subscribed, who has liked, who has commented, just thank you so much for all the support. It really means the world because these videos are not monetized. I've spent hundreds of hours shooting and editing this shit. 60 plus videos on the fucking channel. I got a few videos in the fucking bank that nobody has ever seen. I got the Tony Ferguson fucking documentary. I got a couple draft videos that never got uploaded. And all the time spent on those videos was for literally nothing to gain really aside from your guys' entertainment. And if you fucking, are enjoying my shit, that fucking just means the world to me. It's really awesome to see all the support that I've been getting, especially these last couple weeks since I've been back. So yeah, just huge shout out to everyone who's supporting me, everyone who's hopped on the bandwagon these past few weeks to get me up to 250, and all the OG fans who got me to 100, and I think I was over 200 but before I came back. So those first 200 subscribers especially, shout out to you guys, but the last 50 or so as well. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for subscribing. Just a couple special shout outs I got to give. First to my boy Nate, aka Fishbait Nate, aka Nate Dolphin, aka Tater Bones, aka Booger. Man goes by a lot of names, but he's been one of my best friends, if not my best friend, for fucking years. I mean, shout out to Nate. Dude's honestly my biggest supporter. He has liked and commented on damn near every single video, if I'm not mistaken. If not every single one. I'm pretty sure it's every single video he's liked and commented. He made the original channel avatar. He made the current channel avatar. He made the channel header, the banner on my channel. And he's made all of these thumbnails. I'm going to put them up on the screen right now. He's made a bunch of thumbnails for me. Helped me out with video ideas. And just been one of my biggest supporters since day fucking one. Been my best friend for fucking years. And I fucking love you, Nate. Thank you for all the support. You're a fucking real one, bro. No matter what anyone says, you fucking are as loyal as they fucking come. So shout out to Nate. That's my fucking boy. Also got to give a shout out to probably the next two biggest supporters of the channel. My boy Huncho Mint, the current T Nasty MMA predictions champion. Check out the draft video and the reaction video to see his post-fight interview after he won the belt. Huncho Mint, one of my biggest supporters, damn near likes and comments on every single video as well, and is always willing to hop on the drafts. To my boy Brindo, same deal, former T Nasty MMA predictions champion, maybe two-time. I think it's just once, but regardless, Brindo, I mean, another one likes and comments on damn near every video, and he's probably like the guy I talk to the most about UFC in real life nowadays. So shout out to Brindo. That's my fucking dog, always supporting, and one of my best friends. So shout out to him. And then a couple other guys I got to shout out. I mean, my boy Z Berg, he's fucking always liking and commenting on the videos. I don't think he even really cares about UFC that much, but he's one of my best friends as well. So shout out to Zach. He's always supporting. And yeah, that's just most of the ones I can think of by name, but there's so many other people who fucking support on damn near every video. Nick Druss, one of the OG channel supporters, hopped on the first ever draft video. Been on one or two more since then. My boy Jared, been on a lot of the draft videos as well. He's gotten me a lot of opportunities in life, so shout out to Jared, big supporter of the channel, big friend of the channel, another one of like my diehard MMA fan friends. So shout out to Jared. Shout out to my parents for sharing my channel on Facebook, fucking trying to get their friends to subscribe. Shout out to them. That's just some real ass shit by my parents. And yeah, just shout out to everyone who supported. To all the people I'm not naming right now and forgetting, I'm sorry. I love you guys too. You guys are goats. And yeah, just everyone who supported me, thank you so much for getting me to this point. Yeah, I'm just fucking so proud of myself, so happy to be here, and I'm gonna fucking keep rolling for you guys, and I'm gonna stay dedicated to this shit, and because I want to make it. Maybe I will, maybe I won't, but regardless, I love doing this shit. It's so fun making videos for you guys. So yeah, I mean, that's all I had to say. Enough glazing for now. It's time to get into this fucking top 10 list. I know you guys are here to see the T Nasty lore, to see the T Nasty favorites, and first up at number 10, man, he's still my boy. I still believe in JDM. I don't care, okay? I know he just got absolutely dominated last weekend by Islam, but the thing is, like, I just fucking love JDM. I've loved him since day one when he hopped up in the UFC. When I saw him fight Ange Lusa on the Contender Series, I thought it was a fucking absolute masterclass. I was like, wow, this guy is a fucking dog. And I said it in the video. I made 6 videos in a row dedicated to fucking glazing this guy, okay? Like, I just fucking love JDM. He's so fun. So fun to watch, such an entertaining style, so badass. Like, dude literally has the most insane, awesome boxing, fucking nasty combinations in the whole UFC. Every fight's a damn near fucking a banger, except for whenever he gets his fucking crotch sniffed for 5 rounds. But yeah, JDM just such a badass fighter. He's so cool. I love his attitude. He just is so like nonchalant, and he's like, yeah, I mean, yeah, like it's my favorite thing is whenever he's doing like his press appearances. And these guys, I mean, these fucking reporters ask the stupidest fucking questions, and JDM just is like does not have time for that shit. And anytime someone asks him a stupid question, he's like, yeah, and that's it. Like, it's just so funny. I fucking love JDM. He's so fucking cool, and I don't care what anyone says. I know everyone's clowning on me. Everyone, like all the JDM fans are getting clowned on for picking him against Islam. And yeah, we were dead fucking wrong, but we don't give a fuck because we ride with our favorites no matter what. And I will never ever switch up on JDM. Like, had he won, he probably would have skyrocketed up to the top 5, but he unfortunately didn't pull it off. But he's still number 10 of my favorite fighters of all time. Dude's literally been in the UFC for like 3-4 years, and he's already one of my favorite fighters ever. And he's still only 28, man. Like, that's the thing. He's 28 years old, already been a world champion, and it's only up from here for him, man. I mean, like, this dude will be back. And if you're clowning on JDM, you are just an absolute fucking jabroni. This guy would beat the fuck out of you. So would Islam. Islam would make you tap easily in 30 seconds, and this guy went all 5 rounds, survived on the ground, defended all the submissions beautifully. And JDM is just such a fucking elite, fun fighter. And if you're hating on JDM, you're a fucking jabroni, bro. That's all I got to say. Shout out to JDM. Still number 10 on my list. I'm never switching up on my boy. I knew he'd be champion. I fucking called that shit. And I just fucking love JDM, man. He's so fun to watch. Now, number 9 on the list. This is a fucking OG right here. Beat your ass. Beat your ass. Beat your ass. Beat your ass. Fucking Tyron T. Woodley. The fucking GOAT. The best fighter from St. Louis ever. Originally from Ferguson, Illinois. And, you know, a little bit of T Nasty lore. I talked about this in the fighters I knew would be champion video, but my boy Nate, I was talking about him earlier. I remember I had him over to watch UFC 201 with me whenever Tyron fought Robbie Lawler for the title. And this motherfucker, he went out there and just absolutely slept Robbie Lawler in 30 seconds, like one punch, put him fucking out cold. Me and my boy Nate, we go fucking crazy. Nate, let him know down in the comments. I know you remember. Dad, if you're fucking watching this, I know you remember this shit because we fucking woke your ass up. It was just so fucking exciting to see our boy from St. Louis pull off the fucking title win. Still the only champion in the UFC from St. Louis, and he brought it home to the Lou, did it for us. So shout out to Tyron Woodley. I mean, just this guy, just like in his prime, he was a fucking savage. Like had some of the nastiest KO power ever. Fucking colded Robbie Lawler, colded Josh Koscheck, and a bunch of other guys. I mean, he was so fun to watch back in the day. And unfortunately, you know, once after he won the title, he kind of fell off. Not kind of, like it was a generational fall off, but he had the good fight with Wonder Boy, and then he fucking fraud checked Darren Till in that title defense. But aside from that, his title run was kind of weak. Had the boring fight in the rematch with Wonder Boy, had the boring fight with Damian Maia, and then got dominated by Kamaru Usman and lost the belt. And then it was all downhill from there. I think he lost 5 fights in a row in the UFC. And then he lost twice to Jake Paul. And we haven't really seen him from him since, other than that one video. If you know, you know. And then he tried to become a rapper. I mean, I don't care what anyone says. I'll Beat Your Ass is a fucking banger. Okay, that song is so good. Maybe I'm biased, but I love Tyron Woodley. One of my first favorite fighters. The best fighter ever from St. Louis. The only champion from St. Louis. So you know I have to fucking rock with Tyron Woodley. Shout out to T-Wood, bro. One of the fucking most dangerous fighters of all time. Dude's a fucking beast. Now on to number 8 on the list. Another fucking OG of the sport. Anderson the Spider Silva. Now this guy, back whenever I first became really into UFC, around like 2012 to 2013 era, this guy right here was fucking him. He was the GOAT back then. And the thing about Anderson Silva, if you guys don't know, like he was making it fucking look easy against all these guys. Like either he would just knock them out easily and look like he's not even trying, or he would just go out there and fucking play around the whole time. And, you know, sometimes it'd end up being a stinker because of that, but most of his fights were fucking epic. I mean, the Chael Sonnen comeback win, I mean, dude, like, that was literally cinema. You couldn't script that any better. The rematch with Chael Sonnen knocked him out with a spinning back fist and a knee to the body. Knocked out Vitor Belfort with a front kick to the face. Just, like, fucking went, like, Avatar style against fucking Forrest Griffin. I mean, just had some of the best performances in UFC history. Won the title in, like, his second or third fight in the UFC. And this guy was just like on another fucking level back then. Like, think about this, like 2008 to 2014, like back in that era, like guys were not as good as they are nowadays, you know. But this guy, he was on another level. Like he was like Israel Adesanya in imagine Israel Adesanya in 2010, bro. Like that's what this guy fucking was. And he was just easily beating everybody and just absolutely clowning on them. Unfortunately, it didn't end too well once he lost the title. But, I mean, he still put on a lot of fun fights after that. So, like, Anderson Silva, one of, like, the OG goats of the sport. And the thing about Anderson Silva that a lot of people forget, this guy held the record for the longest win streak in UFC history until this most recent Saturday night. It took until November of 2025 for someone to finally get 16 UFC wins in a row. And that man was Islam Makhachev. I mean, but aside from him, no one else has been able to replicate that. There's been a couple guys who were close. I believe Max Holloway had 14. I think Kamaru Usman had 15. And a couple other guys were like pretty close to that. I think Merab's at 14 right now. But Anderson Silva held that record for a long-ass time, almost a whole decade. And yeah, just Anderson Silva, one of the OG goats of the sport. He was the best in the world whenever I got into the sport. And I used to love watching him fight. He was so fun to watch, had some of the most impressive performances ever. And he just looked like a fucking superhero, a fucking demigod back then. Like, this guy was fucking him. So shout out to Anderson Silva, number 8 on my list of my top 10 fighters of all time. Now, next up, a little bit more T-Nasty lore with my number 7 pick. And that's going to be Michael the Count Bisping. Dude's got a great book. I'm working on reading it right now. But former middleweight champion. And the thing about Michael Bisping, a lot of people fucking hate this guy. He's definitely a bit of a dickhead sometimes, but the thing is, I really enjoy the heels, and Michael Bisping is one of the best heels in UFC history. Like, he's up there with fucking Chael Sonnen, and the way he used to talk shit on people, and just like he was like the OG rage baiter back in the day, and he was rage baiting everybody. Jason Miller, that one guy he was spitting on, Luke Rockhold, all these guys, he was just rage baiting the fuck out of them, and it was hilarious to watch. But around the time when I started to really become a huge fan of this guy was whenever he fought my last pick, number 8, Anderson Silva. It was, I believe, 2016. They were fighting in the main event in London, Bisping's hometown. And I'll never forget this shit because Bisping literally was losing round 1 of that fight. He was losing round 2 of that fight. And then at the very, very end of round 2, Anderson Silva literally knocks Bisping out fucking cold with a flying knee. Out fucking cold. But the ref, like, it literally happened right as the bell went off. And so the ref didn't stop the fight. It wasn't over. Anderson Silva thinks he fucking won. He's up on the cage celebrating and shit. And the ref's like, no, get back down. This fight's still on. And somehow Bisping manages to recover and come back to win rounds 3, 4, and 5 of that fight. And I was like, holy fuck, Michael Bisping is a dog. Like, this dude's got crazy heart. And then he rallied that into getting a 2-week notice win over Luke Rockhold. I mean, you guys know, if you guys saw the Most Satisfying Humblings video, you guys would know this is one of my favorite knockouts of all time. He took the fight with Luke Rockhold on 2 weeks' notice after already losing to him. And Luke Rockhold was just looking straight over Michael Bisping, acting like it was a joke that he was even fighting him in the first place. And then Michael Bisping went out there, the origin story of left hook Larry, and knocked fucking Luke Rockhold out in the first round. It was just absolutely beautiful. And it was around this time that Bisping started to turn babyface, and people started to love Bisping. They were just so happy to see a guy who had like an up and down career in the UFC finally pull off the championship win. And, you know, after he won the title against Luke, they blessed him with a chance to defend the title in his hometown in Manchester, I believe. It was either Manchester or London. And he got the title defense against Dan Henderson, who I'm pretty sure was ranked number 14 at the time, which is insane that the commission even allowed to happen. But, you know, people are always talking nowadays about these undeserved title shots, and that was the original undeserved title shot. People fucking forget, man. That was fucking egregious. But he got the win against Dan Henderson in the rematch, defended his belt, and then immediately went on to have the super fight against GSP, lost that fight, and then like 2 weeks later got knocked out by Kelvin Gastelum. We'll talk about him later. And that was the end of Bisping's career. And at that point, that's when he fully, you know, turned face and became more of a nice guy. Like, sometimes he gets annoying on commentary, but for the most part, super fun, super hilarious, and just an awesome fighter. Always put on fun fights and just has crazy heart. He's got that dog in him, and he pulled off one of my favorite knockouts of all time. So shout out to Michael Bisping. He has to be number 7 on my list of my top 10 favorite fighters of all time. Now, as for number 6, now this is where we are really getting deep into the T-Nasty MMA origin story. The T-Nasty lore goes deep with this one. Those who know me know that this guy right here was the man who won the first fight that I ever watched. I was 8 years old when I first saw Kimbo Slice fight. Now, this is the origin story of T-Nasty MMA, okay? So, I was 8 years old, and we went to go watch the fights at my uncle's house. Shout out to my Uncle Jason if he's watching this. But Kimbo Slice, he was fighting James Thompson in the main event of an Elite XC card. And I didn't know it back then, but my boy James Thompson, he was going into this fight with what people now refer to as cauliflower ear. Okay, and that's the last thing you want to have going against a guy with fucking big-ass monster hands like these right here, Kimbo Slice. Fucking Kimbo goes in there, and I'm like, God damn, this dude is this big-ass black dude, this guy's fucking badass. Like, this dude's a fucking beast. And he used to just beat the fuck out of dudes in the street. And he goes into this fight, and he hits him with like a hook or something. I'll put it up on the fucking screen, but this guy, he fucking explodes James Thompson's cauliflower ear. Fucking blood splatters. And it was just like the most disgusting, the most awesome shit I've ever seen in my fucking life. I was 8 years old, and I was just hooked from that moment on. I was like, yes, MMA, this shit is fucking awesome. So cool. And it took a couple years before I really started to become like a hardcore fan. Like I told you guys, it was around like 2012, 2013, but that was the first time I ever watched a fight. And from then on, anytime Uncle Jason hosted fight nights, I was making sure my dad took me. I remember going to watch BJ Penn versus GSP. I remember going to watch UFC 100 and just a bunch of other cards from back in that era. And Kimbo Slice was the fucking origin of that shit. And this dude, I mean, you know, he ended up going on to get exposed. He was not that good of an MMA fighter, but this dude was fucking badass. Like one of the coolest dudes ever. One of the most scary looking dudes who ever fucking lived. Rest in peace to Kimbo Slice. Dude is a fucking legend. And, you know, he like I said, he kind of got fraud checked. After that Elite XC win against James Thompson, I'm not sure how many fights he had after that, but at some point, he went on to face Seth Petrozelli in the fight that they tried to fix. They tried to pay Seth Petrozelli to stand with Kimbo, and he ended up knocking Kimbo out anyways. Crazy fucking circumstances. But then after that is whenever they got Kimbo on The Ultimate Fighter season 10. And I remember watching that shit on TV with my dad sometimes, and I just thought Kimbo was the coolest dude. He was, on that show we really saw how down to earth and humble Kimbo was, how cool he was. And he went on to get fraud checked by Roy Nelson in that show. And then the UFC ended up signing him anyways. He went on to pick up a win in the UFC over Houston Alexander, who was like a middleweight, by the way, fighting Kimbo at heavyweight. But Kimbo managed to actually beat him. And then I think he had one more fight against Matt Mitrione and lost that. And then the UFC cut him. He went on to do boxing. He went on to do Bellator. He did the Drake and Josh movie. I think a couple other Hollywood appearances. And, by that time, Kimbo was just a household name. This guy was a mainstream legend of just fucking pop culture in general, let alone MMA. And this guy was just an OG of the sport. The first fight I ever watched made me fall in love with the sport when he exploded James Thompson's ear. So shout out to Kimbo Slice. Rest in peace to the king. One of the most badass fighters to ever live and just such a cool-ass dude. Wasn't really the best fighter, but it was just awesome seeing him fight back then in that era. If you were around for that, this guy was fucking him back then. So shout out to Kimbo Slice, the man who got me into MMA. My fucking boy, what a legend. Now, we're about to get into the top 5, and for any of you guys who know me, who pay attention to this channel, if you've seen the outro, if you've seen the channel banner, you know who these top 5 guys are. You just don't know what order they're going to be in. And I'm going to give you that in a minute, but before we get to that, I just got to give a few honorable mentions. Quite a few of them here, but these are all guys that I fucking love. They were just like, most of them were like just fucking shy of making the top 10 list. Like if I did a top 20, I don't know how many I have here, but if I made a top 20, these guys would all probably be somewhere in the 10 to 20 range. First up, we got Tony Ferguson, El Kukui, guy's just an absolute fucking demon in his prime. If you don't know, I do have a Tony Ferguson video in the fucking bank. I never uploaded it. I made the video and I was gonna upload it whenever Tony was supposed to fight Dylan Danis earlier this year, and ultimately the fight ended up getting canceled, so I never uploaded it. And I thought about just throwing it up anyways, but it's not really my style. It's more of like a documentary style video, and just like I never really was in love with the video personally. I didn't think it was that great. But if you guys want to see it, let me know. I'll drop it for you guys. Maybe it's like a private video. I'll send out the link to some people who want to see it. But Tony Ferguson just was an absolute demon back in the day. Just destroyed people, mangled guys' faces, went on a 12-fight unbeaten streak, and somehow never made it to the undisputed title. It's just absolutely ridiculous. Real ones know Tony Ferguson would have beaten Khabib. Unfortunately, it never happened. But yeah, Tony Ferguson, one of my favorite fighters ever. Next up, Yair Rodriguez. That guy, he's a fucking savage. A lot of people hate on him nowadays. But like I said with JDM, I'll never switch up on my favorites, and I love Yair. Dude throws like a fucking savage. He throws with killer intentions every single time. And he has some of the sickest knockouts in UFC history. The elbow against TKZ, the jumping switch kick against Andre Fili, the high kick into a punch against fucking BJ Penn, and like a bunch more. Dude's just a savage in there. Does some super fucking badass, cool, dope shit. And I love watching Yair Rodriguez fight, no matter how much of a little bitch he is sometimes. Really, really fucking fun in the octagon. And I think he's cool whenever he's not acting like a little dickhead. So shout out to Yair Rodriguez. Next one, the Korean Zombie. I mean, talk about a fucking discography with just all bangers. Okay, and I know bangers. And TKZ, the Korean Zombie, just like zero skips on his resume. Every fight is just fucking insane. Dude went to war with everybody he ever fought. Like I don't think I can think of a single fight of his that was fucking not entertaining. So shout out to the Korean Zombie. A lot of people I know love him. My girlfriend's dad loves him. My boy Noah loves him. And just pretty much everybody loves the Korean Zombie. Like, how can you not fucking love the Korean Zombie? And he's definitely one of my favorites of all time. Kelvin Gastelum, I alluded to him earlier. Now, this one is a crazy pick by me. A lot of people, like, everyone knows Kelvin Gastelum, but, like, he's not really anyone's favorite. Except for me and my boy Nate, okay? Shout out to Nate, another fucking Nate story. So basically, I brought my boy Nate on vacation with me. It was like around like 2014 or 15, something like that. And we brought the Xbox with us. And one day we're like chilling in the hotel room playing on the Xbox. We're playing UFC 2. That's right, UFC 2. Not UFC 3, not UFC 4, not UFC 5 that you guys are playing right now. UFC 2, okay? I was fucking OG on that shit. I was playing Undisputed 3 back in the day. But anyways, we're playing UFC 2 and I'm doing a career mode. I'm playing with my boy Trent Nasty. You already know. I've been going by T Nasty for years. I was the original T Nasty, okay? But my boy Trent Nasty, I'm playing on easy mode, and I discovered this method to win every fucking fight. All you got to do, just spam the front leg side kick to the face over and over again until you just knock your opponent out. Like, that was that easy, and I did that to everybody. I was fucking welterweight champion, multiple title defenses. I was like 20-0, and then I run into fucking Kelvin Gastelum, bro. And somehow this motherfucker is the first one to beat me. He survives the fucking front leg side kick to the face, the sweet chin music, and somehow takes me to decision and gets the win. And he handed me my first loss on easy mode. And just ever since then, me and my boy Nate, we've loved Kelvin Gastelum. He fucking fraud checked me on UFC 2. And gone on to just be a badass fighter. Had some great fights. I mean, had the legendary war with Izzy. A bunch of sweet knockouts over Bisping, Vitor Belfort, Jacare Souza. And this guy's still kicking today. Like, he'll fight literally anybody. Pretty sure to this day he's still never been knocked out in his entire career. Dude has a crazy chin. Definitely needs to learn how to make weight, but one of my favorite fighters ever regardless. Shout out to Kelvin Gastelum. Next one, Daniel Cormier. Another bit of T Nasty lore. So back around like freshman, sophomore year of high school, I had my boy Travis. He was like my only friend back then who was as much into MMA as I was, and he was a diehard John Jones fan. And so to go against him, I fucking adopted the Daniel Cormier fanboy attitude. And yeah, I just fell in love with DC back then. Dude is so funny, so cool, and genuinely one of the greatest fighters ever. Like, had it not been for John Jones, he probably would be the GOAT right now. 2-weight world champion. And he had a few stinkers here and there, but he always put on fucking fun fights despite being a wrestler. So shout out to Daniel Cormier, one of my favorites ever as well. Travis, I don't know if you watch my videos, but if you do, you know we used to fucking go at it about John Jones and DC back in the day. Next one, Jorge Masvidal. Just another one of the most badass, dope fighters ever. Has some fucking sweet knockouts, some sweet performances. And, you know, everyone will remember in 2019 when this guy locked the fuck in and just became the most popular fighter in the world. And all of my boys, I know you guys remember. I can't remember what number the card was, but whenever he fucking knocked out Ben Askren, you guys all know this moment. And literally in 5 seconds, just flying knees Ben Askren out fucking cold. And all of the boys in my fucking basement, we fucking went nutty. Like, absolutely fucking insane. My neighbors probably fucking heard us. My dad, I know you remember this if you're watching this. He comes walking down the stairs, like, literally, like, right as the fucking knockout happens. He's like, wait, what happened? Just a legendary moment with Jorge Masvidal. I mean, he had the 3-piece and the soda. Just, like, so many iconic moments with this guy. So fun to watch. So badass. Jorge Masvidal is one of my favorites of all time as well. A couple more here. Anthony Pettis. My boy Showtime. And we all remember the Showtime kick. And this guy used to just always do fucking dope shit like that. I mean, he's put on some badass fights. Former lightweight champion of the UFC. Former WEC lightweight champion. And just a chill-ass cool dude from the Midwest. Another little piece of T-Nasty lore. There's just a lot of T-Nasty lore in this video for you guys. But so a couple years ago, I go to the ear, nose, and throat doctor, right? And I pull up. I'm wearing my UFC t-shirt. I can't remember which one. And I walk in there, and I'm seeing this doctor. He's like, yo, you're a UFC fan. I'm like, yeah, man, for sure. And he's like, you know Anthony Pettis? I'm like, yeah, dude. Like, Anthony, like, one of the GOATs. Like, he's one of my favorite fighters ever. He's like, yeah, that's my brother-in-law. I'm married to his sister. I'm like, what? Why is Anthony Pettis' brother-in-law at an ear, nose, and throat clinic in Glen Carbon, Illinois? But regardless, I thought that was just such a cool moment. I met Anthony Pettis' brother-in-law. And, yeah, shout out to Anthony Pettis, one of the best fighters ever. Another one, Clay Guida. Got to give an honor mention to Clay Guida. If you guys know, my boy Clay Guida, he came into the Arby's I work at. And the story there, I almost fucking missed him. Because he was there whenever I came in. Like, I came in at like 3 or whatever. And this motherfucker was there waiting on his food. And I walk in, and my boy Noah, shout out to Noah. I don't think you watch my videos, bro. But I know you remember this moment. Fucking, I walk in, and you pull me in office. You're like, bro, I'm pretty sure that's Clay Guida in the lobby. And I'm like, what? I'm like, why would Clay Guida be here? And he's like, no, bro, I swear to God, it's him. I'm like, okay, let me go look. And he's like, no, hold on. Let me pull up a picture. Because I know this guy is him. And I was like, why don't you just let me go look? And he's like, bro, trust me. And he pulled up the picture. And he's like, this guy right here. That's Clay Guida, right? And I'm like, yes. And he's like, yeah, he's in the fucking lobby. And I walk out. And, like, it's Clay. Like, if you guys know Clay Guida, this is, like, one of the most identifiable guys in the whole UFC with that fucking hairstyle. And not to mention, he's wearing a UFC t-shirt, UFC shorts, UFC hat. I'm pretty sure this was, like, right after he fought Charles Oliveira in Chicago, which I was there for, by the way. And he lost to him, unfortunately. So he was probably on his way back home after fighting in Chicago. And yeah, he stopped in at Arby's. I'll never forget his order. He got a turkey and Swiss wrap with a Jamocha shake and jalapeno poppers. And Not a bad order. It's a pretty solid Arby's order. But yeah, and the funniest part was, so like I get Clay and I'm like, yo, dude, like I'm a huge fucking fan. Let me take a picture. I'm gonna put the picture up on screen just to prove to you guys I met this motherfucker at Arby's. Um, and I had my boss Kelly take the picture of us, and then after we take the picture, I go back, I start working, and I realize this motherfucker's been waiting on his food for like 15 minutes, and I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, we have a UFC fucking Hall of Famer in the lobby, and you guys are making him wait 10 minutes on his food. I'm like, we need to get this shit ASAP. And I get everyone fucking on that shit so fast. But shout out to Clay Guida. I mean, not one of the best fighters ever, but he is a UFC Hall of Famer, and he's put on some really fucking awesome fights, and just a chill-ass dude. I met him, so he has to be on my favorites list. Just not quite top 10. And then last one to mention, Khamzat Chimaev. Like you guys saw in the fighters I knew would be champion, I've been with Chimaev since the day this motherfucker popped up on Fight Island. Fought twice in a week. His first 3 fights absorbed literally 2 fucking strikes, and I just knew this guy would be a world champion. I had a feeling he would be 3-weight world champion. Don't know if he'll be able to hit that, but I think he will get 2 belts. I think he will be pound for pound number 1, and I think he will be one of the greatest fighters ever. So shout out to Khamzat Chimaev. I've always loved him. I think he's so fun to watch. I think he's so badass. Aside from that title fight versus DDP, every fight's been fucking good. So shout out to Khamzat Chimaev, my final honorable mention. And with that said, we got to get into this top 5. And like I said, you guys know who these top 5 are. You just don't know the order. And the first one, you guys are going to be fucking surprised. The former channel avatar, but it's got to be my boy Sugar Sean O'Malley. Now, Sean O'Malley, I know a lot of you guys probably thought this was going to be my number 1, but those who know that the top 4 I love way more than Sean O'Malley. But Sean's my fucking boy, and I don't care that he lost to Merab twice. I think this is one of the few guys who would actually be able to put Merab out. And I still think he's one of the best bantamweights in the whole world. And the thing is, he doesn't have the belt anymore, but he could still go out there, have big fucking fights on pay-per-views. I think he could main event a pay-per-view without the belt. I think he could main event fight nights easily. I think he could easily be the co-main event of a pay-per-view. And yeah, Sean O'Malley, just like so fun to watch. Like, if he's not getting crotch sniffed, this guy's either knocking dudes the fuck out, beating the brakes off of them, or having a fucking complete war like he did with Peter Yan. He's just like such a dope fighter, so cool, fucking hilarious. I mean, he smokes weed. What's not to like about Sean O'Malley? I don't understand why people hate this guy. Like, I get that he's kind of an industry plant, but like, dude's one of my favorite fighters ever. I think he's so chill. I've been with him since day fucking 1, whenever he knocked out Dave Nuzzo in the LFA with the spinning back kick. I saw him fight in the Contender Series. I was like, yo, that's the dude from LFA. And then ever since then, I've been on this guy. He went fucking on. He's had a few ups and downs throughout the career. He had the fucking weird loss against Cheeto. He had the fucking Osterine bullshit that went down. And then now he's, in a bit of another lull since the Merab shit. But whenever he won the title against fucking Aljamain Sterling at UFC 292, when he knocked him the fuck out, face planted his bitch ass, that was the best day of my fucking life. Okay, I won the most money I've ever won on a UFC bet. I won $250. I know it's not shit, but I don't care. That fucking meant something to me, baby, okay? Done sports betting now. The Jack Della Maddalena bet was the last bet I'll ever place. I'm retiring on a loss. It's just business, but shout out to Sean O'Malley. That was the best day of my life. My girlfriend knows I'm literally in bed watching that fight, and I start fucking like bouncing up and down in the fucking bed. I wake her ass up. I'm pretty sure I woke the girlfriend's parents up. Just one of the best nights of my fucking life. I didn't sleep that fucking night. I'll never fucking forget it. And Sean O'Malley, like I said, I've been with him since day fucking 1, okay? You want the proof? Look at this fucking OG-ass Sean O'Malley shirt, okay? Look at this shit. Look at this shit, bro. The fucking material is falling off this shit. That's how old it is. Look at that. 13-0. That's what it says right there. I'm pretty sure this was from, like, around the time he fought Cheeto the first time. I'm pretty sure, because that was, like, the joke after then, is that, like, he technically wasn't undefeated anymore, but he still counted it. Something like that. I can't remember exactly, but I've been with Sean O'Malley since day fucking 1. One of my favorites ever. Not quite good enough to be top 4, but he has to be top 5. He's on the channel, and I'll never stop glazing Sean O'Malley. I'll never turn my back on him. I don't care what the fuck anybody says. This guy's one of my favorites, and I'll never turn my back, man. I'm just a fucking OG loyal-ass fan, and Sean O'Malley is in my top 5 now. On to number 4, and this one's got to be my boy, El Diamante, the Diamond, Dustin Poirer, and this guy right here. I mean, talk about a guy with an unskippable resume. Like, every single fucking fight from Dustin Poirer is a banger. I don't think he's ever once put on a bad fight in his fucking career. Even the fights he lost were fucking bangers. Never ever lost 2 in a row until his very last fight. genuinely, in my opinion, the best fighter to never win the undisputed UFC championship. And it's a fucking tragedy he never did. I mean, if you think about it, he literally faced, in his 3 title shots, he faced the 3 most prolific grapplers and submission artists in UFC history, especially in that fucking lightweight division. Khabib, and then Charles Oliveira and Islam Makhachev. And the thing is, he gave all 3 of those guys their toughest fucking title fights. I mean, Khabib said it himself. Dustin had him in that tight-ass guillotine, and Khabib thought about tapping. He hurt Khabib a couple times. Well, maybe not hurt him, but he hit him pretty fucking hard with that left hand a few times. Charles Oliveira literally dropped him 2 or 3 times in the first 2 rounds and could have pulled that off for sure. You know, and same with Islam. I mean, he gave Islam his toughest fight by far. Maybe it was a bad weight cut, but regardless, Dustin Poirier, he fucking put the hands on Islam and hurt him just about as bad as anybody else did. And this guy, I mean, he just like, there's no quitting him. He has that fucking dog in him. He has like some of the best, biggest heart in UFC history. He's a fucking good dude. This guy runs a fucking charity. Super chill, super fucking funny. And he's just like, he's the everyday man's favorite fighter. He's your favorite fighter's favorite fighter. I mean, like, this guy, he has to be in just about everybody's top 10 list. And for me, he's at number 4. Just, you know, you guys probably know who my top 3 is by now. But Dustin Poirier, I mean, just like, if you take a guy who's never watched UFC before and you show him Dustin Poirier's career, dude, he'll think this is the most badass guy that ever fucking lived. Like, this Dustin Poirier is just so fucking awesome. I mean, look at him. He's literally spitting out fucking blood and then continuing to put the fight on Islam Makhachev. Like, that just says it all about this guy. Never lost 2 in a row. Only lost to the best fucking guys, aside from a couple fluky losses here and there. And he was just willing to scrap and go toe-to-toe with literally anybody in the entire fucking world. What's not to love about Dustin Poirier? One of my favorite fighters ever, and locks in at number 4 on my list. Now, as for number 3, you guys got to know who it is at this point. Hold on. Number 3, it's got to go my boy Max Holloway. Fucking Max blessed Holloway, the BMF, the pride of Hawaii. I mean, just this picture says it fucking all, man. How do you not love Max Holloway? This guy literally will point down at the fucking mat and just fucking swang fucking for the fences. Literally pulled off one of the greatest knockouts of all time. That's another one, UFC 300. I had all the boys over, and we all went absolutely fucking nutty whenever he knocked out fucking Justin Gaethje, woke the parents up, and that was just a legendary moment. I mean, I got the fucking... Oh, I got Sean... I never showed Sean O'Malley. I got fucking Sean O'Malley, and I got fucking Max Holloway pointing down. Fucking legendary moment. Fucking got that shit on the desk. Maybe one day I'll give you guys the setup tour, but regardless, Max Holloway, one of my favorite fighters ever. And, you know, the whenever I first started getting into him was the first time he ever did the point down thing. OGs know he did it first against Ricardo Lamas way back in the day. I think it was UFC 197, if I remember correctly. And this guy, Max Holloway, I mean, ever since that night, he's been him. Went on a crazy win. I'm pretty sure he went on a 14-fight win streak, which is 2 away from the record. Beat Ricardo Lamas. Beat Jeremy Stevens, beat Anthony Pettis, beat Charles Oliveira, beat fucking Jose Aldo twice, beat Brian Ortega, beat Frankie Edgar. Like, this guy just had a legendary-ass title run. And the thing is, he's still only 33 years old. Like, he's still so young, has so much more to do in the sport. Even though he's low-key showing signs of CTE already and, like, showing, like, that, you know, hit his prime early type shit, he's still got fucking gas left in the tank, got good fights ahead of him. And even since he lost the belt, like, he's gone out and fought some of the best guys in the world, and he can still hang with, like, all the young guys and beat just about all of them. So shout out to Max Holloway, one of the most fun fighters in the world, one of the most chill, down-to-earth dudes in this whole fucking, in the whole UFC, in the world, honestly. Like, just such a chill-ass dude, and one of the most badass fighters ever. He is the baddest motherfucker, the baddest man on the planet right now, in my opinion. It's not the fucking heavyweight champion. It's Max Holloway. My boy blessed. Just such a chill dude, and, like, if there's one guy in the UFC that I really, really want to meet, it's Max Holloway. Like, I need to dap this guy up one day. That's my fucking boy. I've loved watching him for a long time. Real ones know. Shout out to my boy Christian Miller. I was just at his fucking diaper party yesterday. Dude's having a fucking baby. That's crazy. But he remembers when we were in Vegas, I was literally sitting there in the hotel room watching him versus Frankie Edgar while everyone else was, like, out doing shit. I fucking love Max Holloway. Always have. And, yeah, that's just my boy. He's number 3 on my list. Because as you guys know, if any of you guys really know me, you know who my 2 favorite fighters are. and you just don't know who's 2 and who's 1. Normally when people ask me my favorite fighters, I just put these two together as number 1 jointly, but for the sake of this video, I had to put 1 as 1 and 1 as 2. And what I went with is number 2, Nate Diaz. You guys know I fucking love the Diaz bros. I got their fucking poster on the wall right here. All you see is their fucking abs, which low-key looks sus, but these are my fucking boys. I love both Diaz brothers. Obviously, Nick is number 1. Nate's number 2. We'll talk about Nick in a second, but as for Nate Diaz, just like one of the fucking coolest dudes ever. So fucking hilarious and just a badass fighter. I mean, he has that like death by 1,000 cuts, weaponized cardio style. A little bit pillow-fisted, but like his boxing is just nasty, and he used to break people with it. Some of the best jiu-jitsu in the history of the UFC. Some crazy submissions. I'll never forget when he choked the guy with the triangle. He's literally flipping him the birds as he's choking him out. We'll never forget this picture right here. This is from the Donald Cerrone fight. Cerrone didn't want to touch gloves, and Nate fucking proceeded to beat his ass and just fucking flipped him off across the cage. Man, I love Nate Diaz. I love that, just the attitude of this guy and his brother. And I just love how they fucking approach the fight game. So fucking cool. The OG of fucking smoking weed cool. One of the first guys to do that in the UFC, and now these guys talk about smoking weed all the time. We'll talk about that a bit more with Nick, but just Nate Diaz is so cool. If you guys haven't seen fucking The Ultimate Fighter Season 5, go look that shit up on YouTube after this. The Ultimate Fighter Season 5 highlights. Nate Diaz was a star of that shit, and he's been a superstar ever since in the UFC, even before the Conor McGregor fight. If you were a hardcore fan back then, you knew Nate Diaz, and you knew this guy was must-watch. And he went out there and proved that whenever he beat Conor McGregor on, what was it, like 7 days, 2 weeks notice, came out, beat Conor McGregor, and he hit the iconic, hey, I'm not surprised, motherfuckers, fucking legendary fucking moment, and then went on and had one of the best fights in UFC history in the rematch with Conor, and then just had a bunch of big fights after that, was a huge pay-per-view star, and now this guy's a huge fan favorite. Everybody loves the Diaz bros. Everyone loves Nate Diaz. But for me, I have Nate as number 2. Just because his brother, Nick Diaz, my number 1 favorite fighter of all time, fucking legendary picture. If you don't know what fight this is from, man, you gotta fucking get hit. But Nick Diaz, man, literally like my first ever favorite fighter. He was him back in like 2012, 2013 era when I first started getting into the sport, around the time when Anderson Silva was the GOAT. Nick Diaz was the fucking coolest fighter. He was like your favorite fighter's favorite fighter back then. And he was just so cool. Like him and Nate both, like they have that fucking attitude where they just don't give a fuck. Like if anyone asked them some dumbass questions, they were just like, what the fuck is that? Like they just would tell anybody off, say whatever they want. This guy right here made fucking smoking weed cool, okay? Because first of all, one of the only guys ever in high profile MMA to win a fight by Goga Plata. And he did it while completely fucking stoned out of his mind. He failed the test, and his THC levels were so high, he had to have been stoned during the fight. It's just like so sick. But the worst part about Nick Diaz is he got robbed of the best 5 years of his career for fucking testing positive for marijuana. Like, literally, these dudes can fucking smoke weed on fight day now. And this guy got suspended for 5 years for smoking weed, bro. Like, that's just absolutely ridiculous, and a damn fucking shame they did that to him. But, I mean, he probably wouldn't have wanted to fight anyways. He didn't give a fuck at that point in his career. And, yeah, this is another guy, one of the best fighters to never win the undisputed UFC championship. Just a really, really good fighter. His jiu-jitsu was next level. Really fucking good boxing. And he had, like, sneaky, low-key KO power. But, like, my boy Pat, shout out to Pat, the former amateur bantamweight champion for Shamrock FC. We'll talk about him in a video later this week. But he's the one who put me on to Nick Diaz. I remember I'm pretty sure we were playing UFC Undisputed 3. I think is what the game was. And, like, the loading screens had little, like, quotes from fighters on there. And I saw the quote from Nick Diaz, and it said, "Don't be scared, homie." And I'm like, man, what is that from? And so he puts me on to the moment. I can't remember what fight it was off the top of my head, but it was whenever he still hadn't fought KJ Noons yet in the rematch, and he defended his fucking Strikeforce welterweight title, and he called out KJ Noons. He said, "Don't be scared, homie." And that was just a legendary moment, fucking so iconic. He has so many iconic lines, you know. Where I come from, people like that get slapped. Just fucking says that nonchalantly to Ariel Helwani. Like, Nick Diaz is so unironically funny, such a badass, fun fighter to watch, one of the best ever. And, you know, he's fought some of the best dudes ever do it. He fought BJ Penn, fought GSP, fought Carlos Condit. So many good dudes, and he went toe-to-toe with, I think he won that fucking Carlos Condit fight. Should have been an interim UFC welterweight champion. And yeah, just, you know, Nick Diaz is one of my favorite fighters ever, and it's honestly sad what's happening to him nowadays. I really hope he's getting all the help he needs. If you guys don't know, look into it, but he's not doing too well nowadays. I hope he gets rid of that crazy bitch that he's with and just, starts getting on the right path like he used to be, doing triathlons and fucking smoking weed with his brother. Like, that's what we miss Nick Diaz. I want to see him in the crowd. I want to see him in Hyder Emil's corner. I want to see this guy back in the MMA scene because it's just one of my favorite fighters ever. And if you remember a couple years ago, he had that comeback fight against Robbie Lawler, which he just looked like a fucking shell of himself. He was fat and out of shape. And, the boxing was low-key looking crispy, but he just ended up getting KO'd by Robbie Lawler. Literally took a knee and quit, which is something I thought we'd never see out of a guy like Nick Diaz. But, I mean, that's just what happens. You get old and shit, and life falls apart for a bit. You need money, and you just take that fight, even though you don't want to. And it didn't work out for him, and that shit was honestly depressing. That was worse than JDM losing the other night. But I don't care. Nick Diaz is still my favorite fighter of all time. My first ever favorite fighter, and to this day, my number one on my top 10 list. And, yeah, I mean, that does it for my top 10 favorite fighters. I mean, you guys know who the top 5 was going to be. The rest of them, I'm sure a lot of you guys, if you know me, I love those guys. Those are my favorite fighters of all time. I mean, with that said, I mean, just, a couple more things to say. Like, I really got to say thank you guys so much for hitting 250 subscribers. It means the world that you guys watch the videos, that you support them, that you like, comment, especially my close friends that are doing it to every fucking video. Shout out to you guys. You guys are real ones. I fucking love all of you guys. Every single person that's subscribed to this channel. All 257, I believe, of you guys now. You guys are the GOATs. True hardcore fans. And if you watch to this point, this is where I will remind you guys to go follow me on Instagram at tnasty_MMA. I'll be making a post on there in the next couple days about the t-shirt giveaway. So what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be giving away 5 free t-shirts. And obviously I'm going to order one for myself. I'm going to order a couple for the close homies that have been supporting. If you want one guaranteed, message me and you'll have to buy it, but if you want one guaranteed, I'll fucking order an extra for you. That would make you a fucking real supporter if you fucking buy one. But I'm gonna be giving away 5, so go follow me on the Instagram. I'll go over all the rules of how to enter on there. So if you want a chance to win one of the T Nasty shirts, go follow me there. And yeah, I just want to give back to you guys for fucking supporting me. I know 250 is nothing, but I'm still proud of myself for hitting that, and fucking it's just fucking awesome to get the support. And I'm finally fucking becoming a YouTuber. We're halfway to 500. That's the goal for the end of this year. I got some big shit coming up in the next week or two. We got UFC 323 coming up before the end of the year, and then we got the Paramount era starting in January. It's some big shit coming for the UFC. Some big shit coming for T Nasty. I got a big 2026 planned, and I'm just glad to have you guys along for the ride. So with all that being said, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to drop a like, leave a comment, share this shit on Facebook, subscribe to the channel, become a channel member, hype the video, create a second account, and then repeat those steps for me. If you're not doing those things, you're just a straight up casual. Respectfully, you got to subscribe if you want to be a hardcore fan like me and my 257 subscribers. Those guys are the GOATs. And if you want to be one too, go subscribe. It's easy. Just go down and click it. We're on the road to 500 now, so hop in now before I get fucking huge. I'm going to keep going at it, keep grinding, and keep putting out fucking banger content for you guys because I fucking love you guys. I love the UFC. And I will till the day I fucking die. So I'm going to be right here giving you guys my 100% accurate picks and factual takes for fucking ever. Thank you guys for 250. Thank you for tuning in, watching the videos. Go follow me on Instagram, tnasty_MMA. Follow me on Twitter at TrentJakesNES. You're going to see some banger content. You're going to see me arguing with fucking morons about their stupid ass takes. You're going to see some of my stupid ass takes as well. You're going to see some memes. So just go follow if you want to stay in tune with all the shit that I'm doing. Check out the description for the playlists for the T Nasty Discord server. And with all that being said, thank you guys so much for 250. I'm out. I love you guys. Take it easy, gang.